Android versus Windows Phone. It's a question you probably have to ask yourself on a regular basis if you buy phones on a regular basis, but this holiday season, it's going to get even more challenging. How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and in my hands for a dogfight, I've got two more devices that are coming out this holiday season. One is AT&T's LG Optimus G. This is LG's attempt to get back into the US market with a high-end device that includes a quad-core processor, an 8-megapixel camera, and Android 4.0. Then you have this device, the HTC Windows Phone 8X, which is packing a dual-core processor, an 8-megapixel camera, a really thin and light body, and it's coming to market with Windows Phone 8. Which device is the one to get? We'll find out in the dogfight, but first, special thanks to our partners at Best Buy Mobile for giving us devices like this, which, you know what, we just turn around and give to you for free on the site at instantwin.phonedog.com. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile, you'll walk out working. They're going to help you set up your email, your web, all those little Windows Phone 8 customizations or those Android customizations. They'll get you set up and ready to go at Best Buy Mobile. Let's take a look. Optimus G, 8X. Which one's going to win? We'll find out in the dogfight, which starts right now. I've been saying this a lot this holiday season, and really it kind of falls back into the earlier months as well, you know, kind of July, August, September, October. There's some great choice out there on the market. I can't remember a time where it's been this exciting in mobile, and I know we kind of say that every year, but it really just gets better each and every year. In terms of choice, when it comes to the types of things you want on a device, you've got a lot of different options to choose from this holiday season. I'm bringing together two of those yet again for another dogfight battle. One is the LG Optimus G on AT&T. Now this thing's going to run you $199.99, but it's packing some killer specifications from LG. This is their attempt to get back into the US market with a nice high-end device and a quad-core device at that. Packing a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro CPU. It's got a 4.7-inch HD display over here, 720p on this device. It's got 16 gigabytes available to users. It's got 2 gigabytes of RAM, I should say, a 2,100 milliamp hour non-removable battery, an 8-megapixel camera. Now, if you remember, the international Optimus G has a 13-megapixel camera, and we see that on the Sprint variant, but on the AT&T variant, they opted to make it flush with the actual device itself, so they had to reduce the megapixels a little bit down to 8 megapixels. That's kind of the layman's definition of why it's 8 megapixels. 2,100 milliamp hour battery, like I said, 4G LTE connectivity on this device, and you're also running Android 4.0 with LG's custom user interface. So really a nice, well-spec'd device. $200. We're finally seeing quad-core devices come to the States on more than just flagship devices and just Nexus devices. We're seeing it in quite a few rolling out in time for the holiday season. Then you have the HTC Windows Phone 8X, and this thing is a new Windows Phone device running Windows Phone 8. Take a look at this. You can really see how beautiful it is all around. Really a thin, svelte, good-looking device here, and it's packing a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S4 CPU, a 4.3-inch LCD display that's also HD, so 720p displays on both of these devices. And then you've got a 1,800 milliamp hour battery over here, 4G LTE connectivity, Windows Phone 8, like I said, and really a nice design in a couple of different colors. Now this thing retails for $199, the 16 gigabyte version. There's an 8 gigabyte version that'll retail for $99.99, but that's going to go head to head against the Lumia 920, which has a much better camera. At least Nokia would like you to think it has a much better camera, and has some other specifications that make it a little bit different from this device, although it's much thicker than the HTC 8X, and I'm just going to call it the 8X for short. So design-wise, you're looking at two different designs here. This one's very different than the international Optimus G. Just to give you a quick comparison here, take a look at the Sprint version, which is very similar to the international version. You've got kind of a similar look and feel here on the sides, kind of reminiscent of Galaxy S2 over here, and you've got the 13-megapixel camera, so much different all around on this device. You've got a power button on the right side, nothing else, some chrome sides, which while they look beautiful, they are easy to get fingerprints on, a volume rocker over here. You've got a little flap here, which when I pull this flap out, it'll access the micro SD card slot and the micro SIM card slot. And then you've got a micro USB, a lot of micros. Micro USB charging port down here at the bottom, and a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack up top. Now, beautiful design here. Both batteries are non-removable, but you've got a really nice color scheme here. You've got this in what they call California blue. Then you've got kind of a yellowish green tint, which is going to come in the 8 gigabytes, and then you have a third color, which honestly, I pretend like I just had forgotten to tell you, but I actually can't remember the third color because there are so many different color variations of these Windows phones coming to different carriers. So there's a second 16 gigabyte color that's coming if you don't like blue. I want to say it's is it black? It's either black or red. I can't remember off the top of my head on AT&T side. But you got a micro SIM card slot, a volume rocker, a camera shortcut button here to access the 8 megapixel camera. Nothing on this side, but really a thin, beautiful looking device here all around. And then over here, you got a micro USB charging port on the bottom and a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack up top. Now it's powered by Windows Phone 8, which has undergone significant kind of renovations since Windows Phone 7 and 7.5. You're noticing that the live tiles are different sizes here, really giving it more of a customizable look and feel all around in comparison to previous versions of Windows Phone. Now out of the gate, you do get AT&T applications on both of these devices. Take a look here, for example, Code Scanner, Family Map, Locker, Navigator, ready to go, Smart Wi-Fi, UVerse Live TV. Now the benefit of the Windows Phone is you can remove, as you can see here, you can remove all of that. So you can go in here and uninstall AT&T Radio. If you don't want it, you can get rid of it. Over here, unfortunately, there isn't an ability to uninstall the AT&T stuff. The bloatware stays on regardless of whether you want it or not. You can see here that I'm uninstalling, or I'm in that uninstall screen, and the only thing that I have the ability to uninstall here is Quadrant Standard, Speed Test, things that I've installed already since I've been working with the device. Now, Android 4.0 over here, so not quite Jelly Bean over here. It's not running 4.1 or 4.2, and LG's user interface is arguably a little bit behind when it comes to TouchWiz, Sense, Motorola's user interface, some of these other more established players on the market. LG's really coming at it hard here with some great hardware. Unfortunately, I'm seeing this a little bit, not as much as previous LG versions, or LG devices rather, but I'm seeing a lot of occasional lag or stutter, little things where you're like, you know what, the user interface, it just isn't fleshed out. It's got a great spec list, a quad-core processor, and for the most part, it's relatively zippy. I mean, I'm seeing little to no lag, I should say, all around, but every now and again, I'll see some lag, and I'm like, you know what, that's because LG's user interface isn't quite optimized with Android 4.0. It's kind of like what we saw with Sense back in the day and TouchWiz back in the day, where it was like, because of that user interface, it was kind of copied and pasted on top of Android, as opposed to being a little bit more integrated into the overall flow of Android and the user interface experience. So I feel like that's what we're seeing here, and granted I could be wrong, but that's immediately what I thought. You know, you can see some areas where it falls behind in comparison to TouchWiz. That said, you know, this is a really nice device, a really awesome awesome revision from LG. It's nice to see them finally kind of competing in the US market with these high-end devices. I'm excited. Samsung, HTC, Apple, they all need competition. And so, hey, the more the merrier. I mean, that just means more choice for us, right? Right. And so you got PhoneDog.com loading up over here. We'll load it up on this one as well. Go ahead and reset this, or actually refresh it rather, so you can take a look. 4.7-inch display, 4.3-inch display over here, and take a look at Windows Phone. Portrait to landscape transitions, nice and responsive all around on both of these devices. That quad-core processor over here running incredibly fast, and thanks to Windows Phone 8, the transition effects are nice and fast over here as well. Pinch to zoom, really responsive over here, and this thing is fast all around. I don't want you to think that when I say I see lag or stutter, I don't mean it in terms of the way you may think that. I just see it in little things like where the menu will take a second to pop up, and I'm like, it's because the user interface I feel like isn't working quite as well with Android 4.0 as it could. But you can see here, PhoneDog loaded up on both of these devices. And so I can go down here, for example, and take a look at Taylor's Samsung Galaxy Note 2 video review, or maybe my Note 2 versus Galaxy S3 video. And we'll take a look at that really quickly here. For whatever reason, this one is not running on LTE right now, whereas I believe this one is, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But you've got 3 buttons down at the bottom. They're both capacitive devices, capacitive back, home, and then a search button rather down here. And over here you've got home, back, and then menu over here instead of the typical recent applications. Now you can access recent apps just by pressing and holding there and swiping to remove those right there. So it's quick and easy to use, don't get me wrong, but that said, a little bit of a different interface, a little bit of a different look and feel down here at the bottom as opposed to other Android devices. Having a physical menu button on an Android 4.0 device after working with recent apps is a little bit weird, but still nothing to complain about by any means. But very vibrant display here, 4.7 inches, 4.3. I still think 4.3 is a great sweet spot for a lot of people. And I actually want to go back in here so you can take a look at tabs, just to give you a comparison of Google Chrome, which, as you may know if you've watched my dogfights, one of my new favorite Android web browsers. You can see here quick and easy transitions between the tabs, and the transition animations are really nice on this as well. And of course you have tabbed options over here on Windows Phone 8 as well. Let's take a look at the keyboards here, and I'm actually going to do something different. Instead of pulling up messaging like I typically would, we'll pull that up a little bit later because I actually want to show you over on the Optimus G. They do give you some personalization here. We'll go to Stephen Williams as a test contact, for example, and you'll see my background looks a little bit different here. Well, much like the Galaxy S3 and the Note 2, those devices running Android 4.0, I can come in here and change what's called the conversation skin, where it shows the bubbles look a little bit different. And I can come in here, for example, let's do You know what? It's snowing in the Northeast. Let's click on this one in celebration of snow, and I'll go back into Stephen Williams, and you can see the text bubbles look different, the background looks different. So you do have some customization with this device, and you get some nice customization with this one as well. I'll jump right into text in just a second, but I want to show you some of the improvements to Windows Phone 8, and we'll talk more about this in part 2, but some of those, and be sure to take a look, by the way, at the HTC 8X full review if you want to know more about this. This is more of a head-to-head between these two devices, but just to show you, the live tiles can be customized now. You can make it in that size, or you can make them smaller, or in select instances you can do, for example, email. I can make it larger, I can make it that size, or I can make it down in the small tile. So you can really customize this device and make it your own, and what I love is they finally made it a little bit easier when it comes to preview. So for example, with messaging, if I want to see messaging previews, I can make it that size, and when I get a text message, a preview will pop up right outside the text messaging box. So, you know, it was one of those things I said in Windows Phone 7. I was like, you know, with the calendar, for example, I can see upcoming appointments. It'd be really nice if I were able to do that with messaging, with phone, and more. Fortunately, they're giving you the option to do that over here on Windows Phone 8. That said, settings as well, new things over here. The theme, the dark and light theme settings are still there, but where they've changed it, they've added some accent colors over here, as you can see, where I've got brown and a bunch of different colors I didn't have before. And within that I have brown, like for example this one I have olive. It's not green, it's olive. And you can see some new colors over here on this device. Also want to quickly highlight this, which is another favorite over on Windows Phone 8. Settings, we'll go in here and take a look. And we'll go to lock screen. And you can see here the background is no longer just a photo. You can set it between Bing and HTC, and later on in 2013, you'll be able to set it to other things like Facebook, where when you turn the phone off and back on, you can have, in this case, an HTC background where it's showing, hey, the weather in Dallas is 66, it's sunny, so I see kind of a live replication, if you will, of what the weather looks like outside right now. That's a nice touch, and when Facebook and other applications pick up on this, you'll be able to see like Facebook pictures and more. Over here, some of my favorites, you get the typical Android modifications over here. You'll notice as well, 7 home screens on this device out of the gate, and I've got some different customization choices. Press that down, set default, okay. There we go, sorry about that. You got some different customization things. For example, you're seeing a different kind of animation transition here between the various home screens. You can change that around in the settings, but what I really like is, for example, let's say messaging, you know what, I don't like that widget, which this actually isn't the stock one, or a stock icon rather, because I've already changed it. But I can come in here and change it around. So you know what, if messaging, I want an M to remind me of messaging, I can do that. I can go back from Gmail, I can customize that. You know what, Gmail reminds me of the typical Gmail icon. With Chrome, I want to change the Chrome icon as well, and I can take photos as well. You know what, Chrome is a pretty heavy lifter when it comes to browsing, so I can set that as the icon. So little cool things like that. It does have some great customization choices, and again, I can't get over how fast this device is into day-to-day performance. Yes, the user interface might need a little bit of work, but overall really impressed with the way it looks. Now, we didn't get to texting. Stay tuned for part 2. I'll open it up with text messaging on both of these devices so you can get a feel of how the keyboards look on both of these devices.